Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing two of the craziest back-to-back games I could have ever asked for, especially for making a video on. Dealing 7,000 damage, while not impossible, is quite challenging to do. Now, you obviously can deal more than that. I mean, heck, on my count alone, since Wargaming has added the damage counter, I managed to deal an 8,300 damage game in my Object 263, and I've had a couple of other 8Ks while this has been going on. I even have a picture of a 9K on a FE2 and 5B 183 like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So it's not impossible to obviously deal over 7,000 damage, but in today's video, I'm not only going to be showing you one 7,000 damage game, but the next battle after that, I also did another 7,000 damage game. Now that is truly ridiculously hard to get those odds one after another, because I would say even for a player like myself, the odds of getting 7,000 damage are probably 1 in 100. Out of 100 games I play, I'll be presented the opportunity to deal a crazy amount of damage. And not only that, but then once you're given that opportunity, you need to make sure to actually take advantage of it. If you get this opportunity and then you blunder it and you miss a couple shots and you die, then that's the end of your game. I can tell you for a fact that I've had many opportunities to deal 7,000, 8,000, probably even 9,000 damage, but unfortunately either my RNG or my shells don't go where I want, I make a mistake, I get killed. It happens all the time. World of Tanks Blitz can be incredibly frustrating. There are many games I play that I try my best and I come out with a defeat, but at the same time, when I'm able to deal 7,000, 8,000 plus damage and come out with a victory single-handedly because of my skills and capabilities, all of my happiness comes back to me for at least a brief moment of time. And today, well, we have two instances of that back to back. We've got a game in the WZ-132-1 that was 7,000 damage, and a game in the Object 268 version 4 that was also over 7,000 damage. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to start off with the 268 version 4 game. We're going to start getting right into the action. This version 4 game, I'm willing to say, is one of the craziest replays of 2023. Sure, it was not the highest damage ever, but what went on in this battle was absolutely insane, and right to the end, this was an absolutely nail-biting game. So, up against us, we have two FE2 and 5B 183s, an IS-7, Object 268 version 4, T-62A, and two Type 71s. So, they got a lot of strong tanks, and even the vehicles that aren't strong, like the 183, one single pen from that tank, even if it's a standard shell, can literally take away half of my health. So, obviously, I don't want to put myself in a position to be crapped on, so I'm going to be quite careful. But at the same time, I've noticed that my team is going to base A. Now, I've said this in the past, teams that go to base A are simply telling me, and everybody else that understands how to play this map, that they suck at the game. Because going to A is just flat worse than going to base C. But there's not much I can do about that, so I've positioned my tank in the middle of the map, in a way that I know my team can at least support me if I do get rushed, or at least I'm hoping that my team supports me if I get rushed. Now, we've started off pretty solid. We've gotten a very nice pen into the lower plate of the enemy 268 version 4. That player put himself in an absolutely awful position and tried to just YOLO shot me, but you know what, that's fine, because we penned him, he didn't pen us. And now, he wedges the roof of his tank down, which allows us to get another penetration into his vehicle. Just like that, we've dealt 1,200 damage already in the beginning of this battle, but wow, we are already down in FE2 and 5B 183, which is not a good start to this game. And not only that, but my teammate has to go fire or focus fire him, because obviously we don't want a medium tank on our rear. So while that's going on, I've got to try and help out Fallen, who's my teammate, by covering what's in front of him, being the FE2 and 5B 183, the Type 71s. And speaking of Type 71s, we're about to watch a very, very aggressive Type 71 full speed YOLO me. Full health type. Now, I'm going to get a nice bonk right into his lower plate for 863. Just like that, his tank went from quite healthy to around 1,800 health. It shows you just how quickly this vehicle can dump hit points off of the enemy. And we're not done yet. He shoots my gun with a heat shell, and just like that, we have now penned him again. Oh boy, we are over 3,000 damage at this point, and we have brought a full health type down to a third of his hit points already. He pens me for 350, but the great thing about my tank is all I need to do is wedge it up this hill, artificially giving myself gun depression, and now we're up to 4,000 damage. I'm going to aim at this type. There you go. Get a nice bounce, but, well, the unfortunate thing is because this enemy Type 71 is running gun rammer, he is able to actually get another shell just at the last second out before we're able to fire. But also, because that type is running gun rammer, it had no opportunity to penetrate my tank. I've said this in the past, running gun rammer is a massive L. If you do, you're putting yourself at a disservice because when you fight vehicles like my 268 version 4, you can't pen it. But let's be real. That guy, I mean, you can see what he's typing in chat. You knob, shut the fork up. Yeah, clearly, I'm the noob when you just got beamed on by one of the silliest tanks in tier 10. Alright, well, we've dealt 4,400 damage at this point. We've blocked 2,400. The enemy 183 drives out in the open and allows me to get an absolutely massive shell of 863 using my precision fire maxwell skill. You might think my luck is looking up right now. Well, you're going to watch my luck absolutely crap in just a couple moments here. So, yeah, you get some yin and you get some yang. Right now, though, I'm just chilling here. I know that, yes, we are down on base cap, but there's nothing I can do about that. I, in a V4, am not going to drive out in the open, especially when I don't know where their other 183 is, and I don't know where their Type 71 is. So, that 183 gets cleared, which is great. The Type 71 drives out in the open, allowing me to get a 572 slap into his tank. Just like that, we're up to 5,800 damage. And this Type, just like his teammate, thinks, oh, I'm going to go for this V4, but he was smart enough to stop, which I'll give him credit for, because if he had kept going, he probably would have regretted it. So we can see the two tank destroyers in the back spotted right in mid, and we can see the Type 71. Now at this point, I know the biggest threat is this 183, so I'm going to aim it on this 183. What is that, Wargaming? What is that? What is that? That was completely on his tank, and the only spot that was not on this tank is where my shell decided to miss. I've said this in the past, Wargaming has a personal vendetta against me, and that is literal proof. I cannot believe that that shell missed, but it's fine. We're going to aim at another shell in the 183. We're going to roll him for my exact average damage. Now, that player should be dead, so I'm still a little bit molding, but oh well, we're at 6,500 damage at this point. The enemy team still has 3 tanks left. This 268 version 4 decides to try and YOLO me, but, well, here's the nice thing. He shot his shell. I don't need to rush my shot. I'm just going to patiently aim on his tank and clear him. I could have shot at his lower plate, but if I had bounced his lower plate, then it would have been a loss. So, taking my time, making sure I can penetrate that shell, gave me that ability to cut right through a superstructure. Again, running calibrated shells allowed me to pen that. Now we're going to aim it on the enemy Type. There you go, nice 629 slap. We managed to back up. AMX-50B pens 1 shell, bounces the next shell. He has 2 more shots. What will he do with those 2 shots? Well, nothing. He will do literally nothing. He fires an HE. Does nothing there. I'm going to shoot the 183 because obviously that's a much, much bigger threat than this Type 71. And seriously, what is my 50B doing? I legitimately have zero clue what this player's doing. He actually shot an HE at the Type and managed to kill himself or damage himself. But we won. If you didn't notice, the top of the game was 995 on the base capture. 995! 1/2 more seconds and we would have lost that game. But we were able to clear our opponent, deal 7,500 damage, block 3,400, pull out an ace, and that was essentially a 1 versus 3. That AMX-50B, I don't know what that guy was doing. Like, yeah, I'm speechless on the lack of skill that player had. But, as you can see, we were able to deal an insane amount of damage, and even though our team didn't deal all too much, we were able to sweep that victory up right underneath the enemy team's feet. It makes me even feel happier, especially when you have that player like the Type 71 full speed YOLOing me, and then proceeding to get absolutely crapped on in the end game results. So the next battle we're going to be taking a look at is in the WZ-132-1. This is quite the opposite of the 268 version 4. We go from a slow, immobile tank destroyer, which features incredible frontal armor and a massive alpha, to an incredibly fast, incredibly lightly armored light tank, which features a lot less alpha but higher DPM. I like this tank. I think it's very fun, but at the same time, I think it's a pile of turds. I legitimately think that this is tied with the Object 260 of the least influential tier 10 in the game. Like, sure, it's got mobility, but that's about all it's got going for it. Like, the gun is nice until you need to penetrate something, or, I don't know, you need to actually, like, shoot at something on the move, or you need gun depression, like any of those things, this tank absolutely sucks at. So, you'll notice I spotted a bunch of mediums going towards A, and I know instantly that this tank is an absolute disaster to go towards base A with, because look at what happened to my 907. He's literally already dead. If I'd gone over to A, that would have been the enemy immediately. So, at this point in time, I'm trying to play this calm, trying to play this chill. So we get a nice pen into the enemy 62A for 358. Alright, not too bad. See if we can get any more damage out. I was expecting that grill to keep on going, but he just chilled there. So I was like, okay, well, if the grill's not going to go, then I'm not going to go. I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to capture base B. That way we are up on base capture at least. So I'm going to aim it on the mouse. Unfortunately, that shell didn't really go where I wanted it to, and I guess it was just, I don't know, maybe poor on movement dispersion paired with maybe not so great shell velocity, but oh well. Not the end of the world. This shot here, yeah, that one was a bit unfortunate as well. I couldn't tell if his turret was a pen or not, so that one's on me. That one, that's just cringe. I don't love the gun on this tank, I'll be real. It's not bad, it's just not good. It's a very hit or miss gun, literally. But finally, our shells start to go where I want them to. We've been able to penetrate 2 shells into this enemy mouse, and we're going to go for 1 more. But, ooh, we get lit on fire. That's not very fun. Alright, well, at least we penned the shell into the mouse. We've dealt 1,200 damage at this point. We got the Leopard 1 off to our side, who we are able to get a nice shell into, but wow, this game is an absolute cluster truck from everywhere. Well, let's get a nice shell into the enemy 121B. Not bad at all. He puts on reactive armor, but as I've said in the past, reactive is kind of just a joke. So we shoot the 121B, and then the dude gets lit on fire a moment later, and he's dead. So that's not too much of a worry. We've dealt 2,200 damage at this point. I'm going to shoot a shell into the 62A. Nice average roll of 330. We're at 2,500 at this point. I'm going to shoot 1 more into the 62A, bringing myself up to 2950. At this point, I basically accepted death. I was hoping I could get maybe 1 or 2 more shells into the grill, but he bounced me. You can see that he actually managed to miss my hull and actually ended up shooting my turret-spaced armor. Because of that, he missed, and we're alive. So now the grill comes after us again. We're able to track the grill, which is great, except he was able to repair it. But we drive towards him, and we get another bounce. Wow. Now, some of you might comment that I got very, very lucky. And yes, I will fully admit that I got very lucky, but that's 100% on the grill. I mean, if that guy literally had just aimed his shells and not rushed them, he would have killed me. 100%. So that grill single-handedly caused the defeat for the enemy team. If that player had literally shot me once, they would have won. But we kill the grill with a very lucky fire. But you know what? It's not that lucky. Because if you remember, he lit me on fire earlier, so I guess it's just karma. At this point, we got the mouse, and we're going to get a shell into the mouse. Maybe. I can't pen him anywhere, but that's why we got mobility. We're going to get right to the side of his vehicle. At this point, we're up to 5,200 damage, and all that's left is an enemy FE2 and 5B 183. How much health does he have? Well, we're going to find out. Let's make our way around this corner. Oh! I was really hoping that my one of 2 options was the correct move. I was hoping that the 183 was coming off behind me. Well, he didn't. He actually was right in front of me. So at this point, I'm thinking, oh, crap. Well, the 183 is going to capture base B, which isn't an awful maneuver. If the 183 is an awful tank, which it is, and it has no mobility, and it has an awful gun, but it has the ability to kill me instantly, all that player needs to do is force me out of cover. But at the same time, we just have to put ourselves in a situation where we can farm this 183. And well, lo and behold, that 183 misses the shell on me. Now, to be fair, I don't know why he shot that. That was a 40% shell there. That's the kind of luck that you just, oh, I'm going to shoot it and hope for the best. Well, he shot that shell and lost 1,000 health because of that. So, yeah, he could have just patiently waited, and he would have been basically full health because I probably wouldn't have poked him for a while. But now he is, he's not doing too healthy anymore. He's a 2-shot for me, and even though I am a 1-shot for him, if he misses that shell, he's screwed. But, uh-oh, what are you going to do now, 183? You are a 1-shot. At this point, there's only one thing in my mind that can possibly kill me, and that is a blind fire. I'm worried at this point that the 183 is going to miraculously, perfectly sync up to when I poke that bush. So you'll notice I am waiting a while. I'm giving this bush as much time as possible, just so I know that this 183 is not going to blind primary. And there you go. He doesn't shoot the shot. We get a shell into his tank. There you have it, 6,742 damage, and we come out with a victory. Not 7,000, but still pretty dang close. And not only that, but an absolutely ridiculous victory. We got a 1 versus 3, we got a mastery, high caliber. I mean, what a crazy game. What 2 crazy games back to back, as you can see. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This was a crazy game, a crazy video I thought I'd make, and if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.